Are we going live? Is this thing going live? It's happening. What's up, peoples? We got a different setup here that took some time to set up. We're streaming separately. Oh, hold up. Wait, why is it showing? See? It's still showing that. Yeah, so I have like a 30-second latency. And now you know where the mystery smoke came from. Let's collect some people in here. There are already people in the chat here because I've separated the laptop from the phone. The phone is doing the streaming. The chat's showing up on the laptop. Now everybody is coming in. Let's gather around some people. Welcome. Yep, we're live now. So yesterday, some of you may have already noticed I was messing around with the whole live streaming thing. You can hear me, right? Yesterday I was messing around with trying to live stream with the GoPro, and that didn't really turn out how I expected it to be. GoPro wouldn't really connect with YouTube by default, so I managed to get it done in a different way. But then I find out the resolution is it's 720p max, just like the front camera on the phone. Plus, you can't connect the GoPro to the USB to keep the power, to keep it going, because the battery just drains in 20-30 minutes. If you connect the power, it disconnects. So that wasn't useful. So now I got this going through the phone. Anyway, details, I don't think most of y'all care, but that's what we got going on now. No more hunching over the screen, and flicking your face with my thumb. So we're gathering people around still here. Hello, Pedro. What's happening? Nice to see you. The live is good, loud and clear. Excellent, guys. That's good to hear. So I'm further away from the phone too, so video quality should be 1080. That's also one of the reasons that I'm doing this. Let me check if the video is up. How's it looking? Oh, that's looking good. All right, let me post this to Facebook for the people that are there. Forgive me, Euros. My fellow Europeans, except the English, they're always on that +1 hour. They got that hour extra. Same for Portugal. But sorry to the Dutchies, took me an hour longer to get this set up because I wanted to get the Dutch involved at around 8:30, not later than 9 o'clock, because I know you guys are in bed at 10 o'clock, 10:30, stipped. But who's going to work tomorrow? I don't know if anybody's going to work, but if you do, yeah, you got to go to bed soon. So I wanted to avoid that. Let me just post this thing. Join us here. Join us here. And keep a safe distance from each other. Bring your face masks. Post. All right, what's going on in the chat? I've been ignoring you for a second. Here we are, lots of people. Lisboa, watching from Oklahoma. Oh, you guys got plenty of time. Patrick Cooper, hello Pedro, I love your videos. I'm stuck in France while my bile, I hope it's not your bile, I think your bike, right? While my bike is in Spain. Cheers, my friend, and wishing the best to all the riders out there. Hear, hear. I'll second that. Alp is still stuck in a parking garage that has no access. So, and there's still stuff in Alp too. Not essential stuff, but stuff that would have come handy with the stream. The way I've set it up now, there's little box that this place, they put the tea bags in there, and it perfectly supports the phone how I need it. So I solved it with that. But all the fancy handy GoPro connectors and whatnot, plastic things to set things up, it's all in Alp. And Alp is all alone in a dark place behind a locked gate. Oh no, it's nighttime in India. Yeah, it's I almost didn't stream, but I wanted to stream yesterday, and my experimentations took too long, and I decided not to. And here we are. Let's see. I have to work. Werkse Roelof. Buenos Aires is lovely, Tayyip, but I'm not seeing much of it. Yep, 9 o'clock in the UK for sure. 10 in Holland. Yeah, that's it. I got my times here. Amsterdam, 10 o'clock. Pacific West, 1 p.m. How old is Alp? Tony Lucente asks. Alp is from 91. Alp by now was, what was it? Alp's almost 30 years old. And what's my range? Tarmac, doing about 100. About with all the gear on there, 400 something, 410, 420 off-road, it becomes less. Let's see. Pedro, did you already eat some asado? Yeah, but not from a proper churrasco yet, Ginette de Guadal. No proper churrasco yet. I had a steak, but no proper churrasco. It's a crime. And a month in Argentina already. Day 17 of lockdown, by the way. So we had a live stream last week, but I figure let's have another one because what else am I going to do besides make videos? And it helps keep my own sanity a little bit, although I've been doing quite well, actually. Just getting through the days and all that. But I figured too that some would like to know what's going on and what's up. And I've been getting some more messages recently, some more comments, and some people seem a bit worried and whatnot. But long story short, I think everything's going to be all right. So this was extended. It was supposed to end on the 1st of April. And we all knew it was going to, ahead of time, that was going to be one big April Fool's joke. And then it got extended to the 12th. So we get to go back onto the streets the 13th. In what capacity? We still have to find out. Should be interesting. So yeah, just get in here with you guys and pass the time a little bit. Share your woes and whatnot. What's going on? How you're hanging in there? You still you still love your significant other? Is your family getting on your nerves, or have you actually rekindled all these relationships? Happy to be away from the boss, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? No homework. I don't know. My people who watch me aren't that young, so most of you don't have homework anymore. But anyway, share the feels, man. Fadi BS. Hi, Pedro. How many languages you speak? Keep up the great content. Cheers, Fadi. Free, mostly properly. Though recently I was in the WhatsApp again trying to type Dutch, and geez, it's hard. It's hard to speak Dutch, man. Well, it's actually my main language usually, but over time, outside of the country, wow, man. People ask me, would it be hard to learn Dutch? And I say, yes, I reckon. UKH, how are things in isolation? Like I said, it's could be doing better things, but just sitting through the days and getting some things done, and we'll be all right. My girlfriend in Croatia, 100 kilometers away, cannot get to her and getting slowly crazy. That's a rough one, man. But once you see her again, it's going to be boom. And normally with a long distance relationship, you might be what are the other guys, out there? I hope they don't approach her. But hey, everyone's in quarantine, so and it's all good in that department. That's a plus side. Michiel Buitenwerf, will you stay or go back to Holland? No, just stick around in Argentina. Just waiting this out, and we'll see if we can hit the road again come the 13th. And it's time to go outside again. Argentina did something quite extreme. It's not many countries that did it as serious lockdown wise as Argentina, but on the 13th it's going to be 25 days. I'm talking mandatory lockdown, right? So not like in Holland, everybody is free to do what they want until they got like a soft lockdown like a week and a half, where they decide if they stay in the house or not. So it's up to them. No, this is like, you get out there, you get fined. I've been in contact with the police now 2 or 3 times when I'm out there. Shopping bag gives you a decent immunity though, but all I do is go to the little supermarket, basically a block and a half away, and that's it. But yeah, get back out there. Miljan Gajic, there's this woman with 2 kids that won't leave my apartment. Yeah, apparently I have a wife and 2 kids. Yeah, man. Hate to break it to you, but they're there to stay. So hang in there, bud. Oh yeah, so so what languages? English, Portuguese, and Dutch. That's right. Thank you, Antonio Martins. Amanda Wang, can you understand German? Yeah, sort of. Just like I can sort of understand Spanish, so German I would understand less. Speak it worse. German is my worst language. I speak a little bit more French than I can speak German. I really didn't like German in school. Nicht gut. They would say, Deutsch macht Spaß. Nein. Nein. Let's see. Barbarian Bavarian Tube. Hope you're good. Thanks, man. Hope you're good too. Greg Ferris, has the military set up blocks where you are? Are they stopping people with foreign plates? Look, here's my situation, right? I saw this thing snowballing slowly because we've been working a week and a half, almost 2 weeks on Alp. I was already 2 weeks in Buenos Aires when the lockdown went down. And it's just as I wanted to leave. I could have left the day before, but it was already getting serious with blocks, roadblocks, cars being checked and halted. Already started the day before the lockdown. So I can't say what I've seen on the road, but from what I understand is that you're not free to go around the way you'd want to go. And sure, if I try to get out of Buenos Aires, I'd be stopped within 2 blocks. Motorcycles, quads, cars, everywhere around. Not imagine going away from the metropolis, right? No chance. And then further inland, I'd reckon you stand out like a sore thumb. So I reckon you will get stopped. Kevin Raymond, thanks for the videos, Pedro. Do you have any advice for learning a passable amount of Spanish for travel? Thanks, Kevin, for the support. You could, I don't know, the easiest way is to watch TV, right? And if you watch something that actually interests you, that could help. I don't know if you're into Narcos, the series. I actually recently they had a new season, the second one of Narcos Mexico, right? They speak a bit of Spanish in there. But I really enjoyed that second season, and I wanted to see more. And there is a whole series, 3 seasons, 10 episodes each at least, on El Chapo on Netflix, and it actually, or you can download it online, and it actually it's decent to good, and it's all in Spanish. So if you watch that with subtitles, it's a great way to learn a bit of Spanish and to get some basics done, and to hear it in the context of them speaking. Duolingo. Well, Duolingo can be a bit of hit miss. It's this app that trains you to speak a language. I fiddled around with that. That's actually good to maybe get some basics down if you really don't know anything, man. If you don't know your what is it, gracias and buenos dias, and really basic stuff, that could help. Duolingo. But watch out, the Duolingo owl is super aggressive. And if you haven't trained your language for a day or two, it'll show up in your notifications asking, hey, where are you? Come learn. It's actually a funny meme, but it can help. But the best way to learn it is actually when you're out there. It's the best way. Did I miss someone's support? No, okay. Oh, look at that. David Budgeon, thanks for the support, mate. Oh, thanks for the excellent videos. Well, thanks for the kind words, David, and the support. Tomorrow, another one comes out. I'm working on that today, so I should actually be working on the video, but I'm squeezing the live stream in because, like I said, I wanted to do that yesterday. Yeah, but here we are, folks. All right, let's get a little drink in. It's making me thirsty already. Pieter Kierolf asks, how are you? Are you located up somewhere? Oh yeah, so for those that don't know, I'm in Buenos Aires, Argentina. 1 o'clock in Canada. What's up, HB Butters? Ljubljana. I gotta go to Ljubljana one day. 10 o'clock in Ljubljana. Paolo Carigares says. Let's see. Let's see. In your last video, you put a filter on when you coughed. Two-wheel freak. It's a little yoke. It's all, what is that? What's it called in movies? Foreshadowing. But yeah, that's all like a month ago, right? So once I got to, you hear about what's happening, and it started to get serious, more serious, like the first week I was in Buenos Aires. So now it's funny to see in the videos when there's like a cough, or in the next one, I sneeze. Uh-oh. Mark Hoffman, hair's getting big. Yeah, right? I only do it to myself if I have a tondeuse, a hair trimmer. And the beard coming along too. Brian Meriat. How are those little pannier bags holding up? Yeah, slowly already ripping to shreds, mate. But we'll see how she goes. That's why I'm happy that these bags came with an external rain cover, you know? At least those are not getting punctured whenever I damage them. Luis Cabral, hola Pedro. I'm gonna just translate this into English. Hello Pedro, you have to aproveitar, take advantage of, to do maintenance on Alp during the quarantines. Abraço desde duas Açores. Oops, big oof. Desculpa lá. That's not Spanish, that's Portuguese. Big oof there on my part. Desculpa lá, gente. Isso é português, não é espanhol. Well, the thing is, we've done all the maintenance on Alp. We finished. Like we seriously done a lot of work. That's going to be the video after the next one. And then the lockdown happened. That day that I could have gone away, I was like, oh, I've been carrying these external lights since Bolivia to install them. It's like, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to spend any more time. I want to get out. And then I'm talking to Adrian, who you'll meet in the next video. No, the video after the next. And I'm like, and I see the lights. I find the lights again. I was like, oh, man. We're like, oh, okay, we could still put these on. We'll do it tomorrow. And tomorrow was the lockdown day, I reckon. Yeah. No, tomorrow was the day the lockdown was announced and everything already started shutting down. So I played my hand. But I also figured I couldn't get too far out of the city. By the way, it was back then I was wondering, I was like once I was like, I can stay in the city, but the city at the same time is also the worst place to stay during something like this. And I wouldn't have mind to be more inland, a bit more rural. But yeah, so we decided to stick the lights on there still. So that was all that was left from the project. I won't be able to finish that video properly because it's just going to end. Because I hadn't done the closing statements, the end of the video yet. We were done, but hey guys, so that was the video of working on Alp, and hope this Corona doesn't catch me. See you next time. So that video is just going to end in black. But I got like 95. Oh wait, see? Oh yeah, that's cool about this. So I'm using this, sorry I digress, but I'm seeing now that the donations appear. That's the cool thing that I'm using now is Streamlabs, which is a very popular streaming solution app on the phone, and also shows up the donos. That's pretty cool. Shows up on screen. English. Speak it. Do you speak it? See, so for you guys, I need to, talk again, practice my language. So it's good to be with you out here. Anyway, what were we talking about? Yeah, so all the work is like Alp's 95% done. Carlos Vaz. Pedro, continua assim. Pedro, keep up what you do. Great videos with great images. Thanks, man. Andrusha, question about traveling. So in Western world, you can make some money by doing labor job. What about Latin America? How to make money while travel? That's an excellent question, and I do have my share of experience with that. So I worked a long time in Australia. I worked a long time in New Zealand, and there you make good money. Australia, that is. In New Zealand still too. And then in South America, it becomes harder, right? The most, that is low skilled jobs, right? We're talking constructions, moving boxes around, I don't know, painting and all that. Well, painting isn't a low skill thing, but just, hey, people ask, hey man, you want to paint my walls? Okay, here we go. That kind of basic painting, right? Yeah, you will earn a lot less, and it's a lot harder to make money that you need for a trip like this. Chile, you'll get paid the most, along with Brazil, I reckon, and then Argentina. But that was also one of the main reasons when I got here that I decided, look, I don't mind. I'll take being tight financially for a while, and I'll focus more on YouTube, because what I noticed is like you make a lot of money, then it all goes away. You make a lot of money as you keep traveling. So as I was making videos anyway, mostly offline, I decided, okay, let's kick that up, and then it was worth putting my time into that, because in the end, after a year, 2 years, I would actually still have something instead of just working and being out of money and then working again, and instead build something slowly that I can be creative with, I can make a little bit of money with, and in the end I will still have something. I'll build something in the trip that is mine. Um, but yeah, one of the reasons was that I wasn't going to make a lot of money in South America, and especially if I was still going to travel countries that were expensive, relatively expensive. And Chile, if you make Chile minimum wage, Chile is an expensive country. Same goes for Brazil. So the other side is to that, if you have something a bit more skilled, you have a trade, you know, that could help. But you need to be able to speak the language, right? But you have a trade that is worth more with some experience, then I think you have a better chance. But we're not talking big bucks here. What helped for me though was teaching English. So there's all these solutions to teach English online that are worth checking out. Because I used to have a teaching gig, but they didn't want me anymore or need me anymore at that one. And then I ended up on something which was called Palfish. It's an app, and you teach Chinese people. They can just randomly call you up, and you set a rate, and you can teach English. Takes time to build that up, and we're not talking like a significant income or anything, but still better than the South American income. Let's see. Oliver 16, why don't you go to Europe and ride? South America is no bueno. No, man. South America is dope, man. It's just a bit rough, and I've ridden parts of Europe. Man, we got the bloody Andes here. We got deserts on top of mountains, as far as you can see. What is not to love about that? It's siesta time. Let's have a look. See. Oh, here's the live chat. Tony Lucente, thanks for the support, man. And you can drop a message when you drop those. Feel free. Thank you. Cedric Frenzen, are you still planning to go to Patagonia, or is it too late in the season for that? I had to cancel my Central Asia trip this year. Yeah, sorry to hear that, man. A lot of stories like that. Well, look, I was going there already a little bit late, and but I still knew that from what I saw, that March and April was still pretty good months, and some even recommend it. But now we are completely out of March. That's when Adrian, who you're going to meet in the second video later on here, he offered to help out, do maintenance on Alp. And that was a really good offer, so especially to work on a bike with someone so knowledgeable, it's hard to pass on that. So there I spent almost 2 weeks in Buenos Aires and used up precious time in March and ended up here in the quarantine. But that was something, that was worth it. So March passed, and now with this whole situation, it's March is gone. We're going to lose half April too. So yeah, May is usually where, in my experience, where winter starts to ramp up. Yeah, it's going to be cold. We'll see how it goes, man. Like, I've done New Zealand in the winter, South Island, riding around in thermals. I spent my days usually around 5 degrees to 0, camp out, 0 -5. So should be interesting. It's just a shame if you go higher up the mountains, then you can get some serious temperature drops in the Cordillera. What I worry about the most is actually the weather for recording. And if you want to use the drone, it's tough to use the drone in the rain, you can't, or in the wind. But sometimes winter weather can be really nice, So, let's see how it goes. Just want to hit the road again, and who knows how we might be pleasantly surprised. see. Mario Jorge. Where are you from? Portugal, immigrated to Holland? Yes, born in Portugal, immigrated to Holland when I was like 3 years old, 3, 4. Video quality is superb, excellent. Excellent. So the 1080 is going well, I see. And I like the chat being here. It's just a bit more convoluted, the setup. About let's see. So your questions. Greetings from Denmark. Hope you'll be able to get back on Alp soon. Thanks, Katrina Kalinowska. Greetings back. Luis, oh, my nose. Luis Antola Francis, don't leave America, man. I won't. When all this shit. Oh, beep. There goes monetization. Oh, thanks, Luis. Thanks, man. Gracias. No more monetization on this video. Ends up, you will prevail. Go south to Patagonia. May will be cold, but you will endure it. Yeah, absolutely. That's the plan, man. It's just the situation that might complicate it. That's the most that I worry about. You know, just weather it out. You know, you're in a place. These things. This is. Look, so far as I see it, right, traveling around like this is nothing. I'm talking from my perspective, right? I don't want to be 25 days in a room locked up like this, but it is what it is. If you hear some stories from back in the day from people traveling around, it's what things that happened to them, you know, that's really crazy. I don't know if you ever read Ted Simon, brilliant book, Jupiter's Travels, English journalist. That's what he was back then. Mid-70s, who traveled around the world on a Triumph, was it? And I don't know the details anymore. It's been years since I read that book, almost 10. But I never forgotten it. That's the kind of impact that book has. He got to Brazil and he got detained and he got put in prison for a while. He was stuck, I don't know, in a cell with very little. And it was during the dictatorship in Brazil. And they were mistreating him, man. And he got stuck. And because they thought he was a spy. That was the reasoning. I don't know how long anymore. But anyway, he got to his bike. And when he finally got out and his bike was ripped up, his seat was slashed. That's rough. That's rough stuff. And I look at this now, it's mostly quarantine. And we got this thing a lot more figured out and how it affects the world. And we have a very good idea. And how I look at this, it's not health-wise. It's more administrative. How is Argentina dealing with this? And how is it impeding on people? How are they stopping people? And therefore me from moving around. So we'll have to find out how that goes. But man, I'm sticking around. Oh, Orlando Sablon the third. Thanks for the support, man. What's the sketchiest place you've ever been to and why? Sketchiest place. Well, I found out I was in a sketchy place in Mongolia when I ended up as a guest in someone's house who I didn't trust. Long story. And he stole some money out of my wallet in the morning before I left, and then we went back there with police, and they just casually mentioned, "Oh yeah, in this neighborhood, people get murdered." Yeah, but you know how you ever been to Mongolia? How are you gonna recognize a sketch place? Well, that was definitely a sketch place. Riding around Sao Paulo, a place or two, felt a bit sketch sometimes at night, but there's probably something more. I felt sketch sometimes camping. Sometimes you do get startled. You're convinced, by God, you're convinced that there's someone standing outside next to your tent in the dark. You learn to switch that off. There's no one next to your tent. It's your imagination along with some sounds. What was it? Oh yeah, where was this? Kyrgyzstan, and I was with someone else that I met that day. A young Australian rider on a rental, and we ended up sitting down next to some drunks. No, they ended up sitting next to us in the city while we're eating, and they were very invasive. And he kept talking, kept invading personal space. And then one guy, when he sat next to me, he was like leaning into me and his arm coming over me to talk into my face and to talk to my buddy. And I already warned him a couple of times. And at one point, I push him away. And of course, it escalates. And one of the guys goes to pick up a rock. And he's walking to my friend, you know. And in the meanwhile, I walk behind him and I grab the rock from his hand, which he's holding like semi sneakily behind him because they're drunk. And that was a weird situation. And at that point, the locals intervened. They start saying like, "Go away" to them and leave them alone. And that was a sketch moment. That's about yeah, yeah, right. Let's see. Grux Salfa, thanks for the support. Advance your plans about going to Argentina North on the way up. Yeah, man, Salta and all that. Beautiful desert out there. Highlands. Not going to miss it for the world. Let's see. Hi Pedro, hope you're staying safe. After your travels, if you settle down in a city, what motorbike would you get? Like, I don't know, like a scrambler type, but also no joke, you know? But a motor scooter, like a 200, 300, 400cc, not too big still, with a bit of power. You know, you got no clutch, full automatic. Those things, man, you get around cities easy. Like you see in Europe, you know, Paris and Milan, and like you see France, Italy, Spain, heaps of that. All you gotta do is just throttle, like in Indonesia. If you're in Indonesia, you're on the scooters, right? Bali, you get around like that. I love that, man. All you gotta do is throttle and brake. That's it. Unironically, a decent scooter. Let's see. Milan Gajic. Oh yeah, Jupiter's Travels. That's right. That's the one. And John Baker. Thanks for the support, John. Blessings to you, Pedro. If you ever make it through Sparward, BC, Canada, my wife and welcome you. I mean, I reckon that's you too. Stay safe, my friend. Thanks, bud. Hit me up. It's like I tell everyone. If you see that I'm in a neighborhood, send me a message, and who knows from there, man. Let's see. Dean ML. Heyo, Pedro. How are you doing? Not too bad, thank you. All things considered. Shan Nawazkan, come to Pakistan, waiting for you. Like seriously, I would love to ride in Pakistan and Afghanistan. And if I ever get there one day, I hope some things will become better. They're already kind of better, depending on regions, but I would love to ride there. I've looked at Pakistan from Tajikistan and no, not Pakistan, from at Afghanistan, from Tajikistan, and just the place, the mountains and deserts that you'll have there. It's wild. I would love to ride there. Expedition Fitness, thanks for the support, eh? Hola, Pedro. Go to the mountains for the winter. Yeah, that's looks like that's what's happening. No doubt about it. Grux Alpha, thanks for the support again. Great videos, by the way. Cheers. Thank you. Mark Hoffman, any plans on writing a book on your travels? Not necessarily. I've been over this before. Well, been over a lot of questions before, but not in the meantime. Also, I think, like I've said this before, I don't think it's interesting enough, just generally, because we got into an age where everybody writes a book about everything and whatever. I don't know. Maybe one day. I've had other ideas, so who knows, that pop up because of my travels. If I would ever get into writing, that I could write about. But mainly, man, working on vids. I enjoy that. That's my main focus. You know, there was a time that before YouTube, it was the only thing, almost the only thing that you could do was end up writing a book about that sort of thing, about your travels. You'd see the what used to be done a lot was blog posts, blogging. So you'll find heaps of old new motorcycle blogs if you go online. That used to be the main thing, and I dabbled a little bit of that in the past, but didn't enjoy it as much as I do the videos. By the way, John Baker, I didn't notice, but that is very generous, mate. Thanks. It popped up. All of a sudden I noticed, hey, wait a second. What's that number? That's Canadian dollars. Cheers, man. Thanks a lot. Hey Pedro, Dean Minikin asks, have you fixed the handlebar shake on Alp that I sometimes see? Yeah, a little bit. What we did is pull the handlebar down. So the rubber is old, hard, and worn, right? And the triple piece, or what do you call that? I don't exactly know the names. So we pulled it down and we put PVC washers. We cut washers out of PVC pipe underneath. So the rubbers were sticking out before, which created a lot more spalling, leeway, motion, too much motion. But it absorbs the shocks, right? The vibrations, those rubbers. But we pulled that down by inserting that washer. So now it sits flush. So I don't have this anymore. But the shake is still kind of there from the situation with the forks, and with the weight on the back, it exacerbates that. It makes it worse. So it's not completely, that shake is not gone, but for off-roading, it's going to be great because I used to have a horrible latency effect when I'm off-roading slowly. Well, once you go up to speed, yeah, you'll manage, but slowly I call it, you're reacting to the past, you know? So, and that's why you fall more easily too, because you're feeling the bike but you're only feeling it how it was like half a second ago. So then the input that you put in, it's too late. You also get kind of used to that. So, but anyway, so that's flexibility that is gone. So my steering feels hard and responsive again. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works later in the real world. Again, if they let us out, Mamma mia, let me go. And let's see. Let's see. Randy Polderman, I'd buy the book. Just saying. All right, man. Cheers. Put you on the list for whatever I end up writing one day. Who knows? Harsh reality of selling books. Most new titles do not sell that well. Quibus. Yeah, well, that's what I reckon. Like, is the same Dutch, iedereen en zijn moeder? Or is that English? I don't know anymore. Everybody and their mom. Is that Dutch? Is that a Dutch saying or English? I don't know anybody. Everybody and their mom is selling, is selling books. But I think that generally applies nowadays to any content you create. So the opportunity to get your word, your creation out there has grown. The tools that are available, but therefore also the ease that people can access those tools, I reckon. So more people are out there putting out content in whatever way, online or series or books. So it's harder to get seen or heard. I think that applies to a lot of things nowadays. Jan Menning, groet uit Drenthe. De groeten uit Drenthe, man. Dankjewel, Jan. Groeten terug. Hey, Adrian, what's up, man? He's in the chat. Sitting at home with the missus, eh? Too much buffer on the handlebar, it's called. Thanks, Adrian. So Adrian from Weekender Motors is here in the chat, and he's the guy. You'll we're going to be spending some time together. Do you miss Alp already, bud? Oh, he spent a lot of time with Alp. But yeah, buffer on the handlebar. Marie Aitken, thanks for the support. 100. As in, is that the message or did it go somewhere? But anyway, thanks. I was just looking at here. Sorry, folks. I was just checking if my Facebook page posted. The Facebook thing posted. Give me. All right, we're back. Milan Gajic, hang in there. Look forward to more updates. Good night, man. See you next time. Oude Sluis een biertje. There's going to be a beer in Oude Sluis. Cheers, man. Hou hem koud. It's my head going out of frame sometimes, but are you watching vertically or horizontally? Because yeah, I see that I'm on the edge a bit. There we go. But yeah, if you're watching vertically a stream, then if they keep it horizontal, then yeah, I might be on the edge of the screen. That's right. The Lone Wolf, Pedro, my man. What's up, Lone Wolf? GPS boladão. When I ride, my ass gets very sore. How do you keep your butt healthy while riding for so long? Oh man, if I was one of those streamer girls right now, I could get in position and do like a little squat. Well, how I keep my butt healthy. Anyway, forgive me. How do I keep my ass healthy? I don't know, man. Just sit through it. Transalp seat is not that bad. You can do 5-6 hours before you get in that zone. From there on, you know, it's if it's a game, if riding it's a game, and your butt is like a health bar, you got like 4 or 5 hours in the green, right? But then you start getting in the yellow zone, and the yellow zone starts at 5 hours or so, and then the red is anything more than 7 hours. It's all also about what's in your head. Some days I just can't take it, and then other days I just can't take it. Oh, forgive me. Should not talk like that when we're speaking about butt-related things. It's harder to handle, but some days when you're like, oh, I just have to ride. There's no choice. We have to go the distance. Then it's easier to just sit through it. I remember in Vietnam, spent 6 days, spent like riding 6 hours every day on those 110cc motorcycles, and that seat wasn't comfortable at all. But we got along just well. So yeah, I don't know exactly. Practice, just practice. It's the worst during the first few days, you know. Let me see. Paulo Nogueira, damn, I missed 45 minutes. You can rewatch it. I think you can scroll back and look it from there, but now we're still live, right? So, was giving dinner to the youngest kid. Tell him I said hi. The kids are fed, put him to bed, and now Papa can chill, right? Let's see. Wishing you the best. Lauren Weber, hey Pedro, hope all is well. Wishing you the best from the USA. I am drifting off the corner every time. I'm going to switch position here. A little bit. Let's get this chair covered again. John Spicer, are you still vaping, and have you been able to buy juice while in lockdown? It's funny you say that. Vaping is, I'm going a little story here. Vaping is officially illegal in Uruguay. Weed is semi-legal in Uruguay, you know, but vaping is not. And there I ran out. And my next video, by the way, that day I was a bit cranky and I didn't know why, but because I ran out of juice already 2 days before, a day and a half before. And so I managed to get some again across the border in Argentina, and it was a little bit. And then here in Argentina, it's got like gray area to, I think also officially illegal. So you can't have any shops. In Brazil, it was like gray, semi-illegal, but you could still have shops on some third floor that wouldn't get closed necessarily. In Uruguay and Argentina, they get shut down. Those get shut down, but they're still online. Mercado Libre, very limited, pretty expensive, but it's all there is. And I did get some vape juice like 2 weeks ago. I was stocked up before, more than 2 weeks ago before the lockdown started. But yeah, it's harder in these countries. It wasn't in Chile. It wasn't, for example, in Chile you can get a flask of, that was like pure. You could kill someone with that. Be careful. Of like pure nicotine, like 50 milligrams, 100 milligrams concentrate, like brutal stuff. But here it's a lot more legislated. But the funniest was in Uruguay. Because there's researches, right? There's researches that might suggest that vaping is very unhealthy, but meanwhile, you still have cigarettes widely available, right? So that's a bit upside down. Da-na-na-na. Hi from Montreal. Cheers, Chris Rock. Hi right back. Or more a bonjour. Lauren Weber. Hey Pedro, hope all is well. Wishing you the best from the US. Cheers, man. Be aware. Have you any idea what's happening to the world at the moment? Yeah, like not to. Do we at any time actually? But broad strokes. But you know, I don't watch news, so I catch some things online. Uh, I try to TV news, absolutely. Generally, news keep it out of my life. So, but yeah, broad strokes, man. I think it was a lot worse. I think it would be a lot worse, and some new interesting questions are popping up, or have been popping up for a while already. But yeah, we gotta seriously be thinking about, you know, people getting their livelihood back together, and a lot of them already don't have it anymore. So that's some serious stuff that we have to consider. But anyway, not that I take that lightly or anything, but people are in serious trouble financially. So we need to be a little bit realistic about that. Let's see. My son would like to know how you stay. Evan Lopez, how I stay so buff. No, man, it's the thing, man. Don't worry. It's what's it called? What's that brand? That sports brand? The thing that I wear when I ride. What's that American brand? Under Armour. It's that thing, man. Just makes it look more buff. By the way, that Under Armour, it was a big surprise, actually. Oh, by the way, I'll answer your question in a little bit with a couple more details. But I actually, for riding, you know that you got that MX gear or whatever, that motocross gear, those very lighty shirts, very synthetic. I really don't like wearing those. Cotton I usually wear while riding, but that Under Armour stuff is actually quite comfy to wear for riding. So you always see me wearing the same thing. I would like to get another one at some point, one or two. I really like it. It's light. It sort of breathes. It definitely keeps some heat in there, but also disperses it or somehow. And it's for riding. It's actually quite comfortable. But yeah, to answer your question more specifically, but it's been a while since I properly went and done that, is the gym, and I do miss that. But yeah, throw push-ups, some squats, calisthenics in there a few times a week. That's already a lot better than sitting around. Just work body weight exercises can already make a huge difference. How do you say that? Just body weight exercises. You got push-ups, pull-ups, squats, and whatnot. Stomach exercises, that sort of thing. Which I would do a lot more when I was in Australia, outdoors, because they really have that culture to do that outdoors, and it's really cool. If you do that in the Netherlands, people would be like, "Look, what the hell? Look at those guys, exercise, training outside." Well, in Australia, they have a completely different culture, which is really cool. So those are things you can do in your home, in your room, and you can do during quarantine. You got 20 days, do push-ups every day. Just easy during the first few days. Respect the pains that might pop up early on. Weak under motos, that's Adrian. Yeah, sure, we have to install the auxiliary lights and bust Alp out of the garage. Yeah, I told him, like, look, man, if this goes south, this whole quarantine thing, uh, and they're going to keep us in, and it's really gone beyond the quarantine and everything goes bad, the government collapses or something, yeah, we need to bring your angle grinder and cut the gate open so we can bust Alp out of that garage. Who knows still, man? Let's see. I scrolled too far. Paulo Nogueira, weed is natural, vaping isn't. Maybe. I was surprised though, like Uruguay gets all hyped up on the weed, but it wasn't as legal as I thought it would be. It's still a bit of a strange construction, actually. And I thought Uruguay had better, more liberal laws in relation to weed than the Netherlands, who kind of pioneered it, right? And the Netherlands, the way Netherlands deals with it actually became outdated a bit. But I think the way Netherlands does it is still a lot more legal than it is in Uruguay. It's a lot more accessible than it is for Uruguayan people. Funnily enough, it's the American states that now lead the way. Some of them. Neil Warwick. Hey Pedro, great channel. As a fellow TransUp owner, your MAGA series inspired me to give my 1988 some much needed love and attention. Cheers, man. Give her a little bit of love. Just watch the wallet, man. Oh. People have asked me before, and it's like, Pedro, the project costs and whatnot, and was it worth it and all that? Couldn't you have bought a new bike? I was like, yeah, I could have bought 2 Alps and a half on a secondhand market. That's the cost of working such a massive project, also in a place far away from all the parts, and it all has to be sent in. So yeah, mine was a bit of a crazy project. If you get into that, just watch it. The more you, on an old worn down bike, if you do one thing, you want to do the next one, and then you notice the next thing that you could do, and then you do that, and you just get to a point that it's pretty much, everything has to be replaced. Yeah, donor bike would help in those situations. I didn't have a donor bike. Joe Davis, if you ever get near Dallas, we would love to host you at our country home with garage full of motorcycles. Ha ha. I ride a Ducati Scrambler. Sweet Joe, thanks for the invite. Give a shout out when I'm in the neighborhood. And you got some guns too. Remember Julio, the Texan? I'm going to meet up with him. I know he has guns out there in Texas. So I would like to dabble in that. I would maybe do a little bit of hunting. I never got the chance to do that. Well, and I did in New Zealand. Actually, we went shooting, target practice, because it's pretty liberated in New Zealand with guns. Well, it used to be a little bit more, but we know what happened. But I never ended up going hunting with the guys. They hunt so much in New Zealand. But yeah, hit me up when I'm in the neighborhood. I'm a little bit slow with the messages. Forgive me, fellas. Castigo, 1986. Hey, Pedro, I just wanted to tell you, I really liked your little historical trips, the old Lusitan forts. Yeah, it was cool, right? History of South America is really quite fascinating. Yeah, it really is. And, when when you're in that kind of place, it inspires that. What's the word for that? That's not nationalist. Yeah, in part that the nationalist, the chauvinist, the patriot in you, right? And that's why I actually would still like to end up in a country that used to be an ex-colony of the Netherlands, you know, to also balance that out. Yeah, it was cool. One of my favorite fort was still the one in. I talked about it in that video. No, I cut it out because the video was too long. But when I was in Iran, I went down to Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz, Persian Gulf, right? Bottom of Iran. There's this tiny island, Hormuz, and Portugal built a fort in the early 1500s. It took them like 20, 30 years. They built it there, and I went there. There wasn't even a ferry that you can put the bike on. I had to put it on a passenger ferry. And we ended up there. That was really cool because that one was so old, over 500 years. Guruk Salfa, you inspired me to go 2,000 kilometers with a small 200cc dual sport. Great job. Hell yeah, brother. Bet you had a great time, eh? A lot of... But still, you were out there. Yeah, the aircon. Yeah, right. It is. I lowered it a little bit. I was wondering that. John Spicer, does Alp charging system provide enough juice to all your electronics while on the road? Yeah, I could charge 2 things at the same time, depends on what. I forgot the specifics, man. I got a secondary line running through Alp at the moment, and I did that because of the twin headlight. So I got 2 wire looms running through Alp, and one is completely dedicated to the headlight and charging the bike. And I wonder if the charging part is limited up to 15 amps or 20 amps. I'm not sure, which is pretty decent. But I could charge, if it works. It wasn't working properly for a while. Yay for Chinese bits parts. But when it works, it works. And I can charge all sorts of things. Adrian, week under motors. I want to work and ride on motorcycle again. I'm going crazy. Yeah, man. I know. And you can't sit still. Well, so, and you ran out of work. You worked on the forks and you ran out of work real fast once you finished those. See, I'm in that. The beard has become long enough where you can't stop touching it. Same for the mustache. It's gotten to that part where you start biting it and whatnot. But the longer a beard gets, the more you're touching your face all the time. Anybody have experience with that? Am I the only one? I reckon I'm not. Have you ridden a Brom before? Rich from London asks. No. I don't know. They're pretty small. They look like people have a lot of fun. Apparently now they've gone crazy modding them, putting bigger engines on there. No opinion really. Robertacio Ventures. Jump rope. Yeah, jump rope is pretty intense, man. Jump rope. That's jump rope. That's what I did on my rides. That's a great way to do fit. I did it years ago for a while, but then I couldn't combine it with hard squats. That was the thing with the gym. It's like I when I was still seriously going to the gym, and the last time I wanted to combine it with running, but it's really hard, and it's leg day squats that always ruin your running capabilities. Because if you go properly to the gym, you're basically you're 24/7 sore, basically. Paulo Nogueira, Alp tend to help you doing push-ups. Yeah, that's it. No, a deadlift. Oh, that was one. Deadlifts. Yeah, Alp helps me doing deadlift squats. Absolutely. And every time I do it, it's like, Pedro, you're picking up Alp all wrong. You're not picking Alp right. Hey, every time I was picking up Alp, it all comes from the legs, the glutes, and then I'm not doing the lower back. It's always a push. It's like a deadlift the way I pick Alp up. Eduardo Monteiro, olá Pedro, nasceste em Portugal, abraço. Yes, sim, I was born in Portugal. Let's see, I'm in the middle of a trip. Oh, that's a big scroll, now I lost them again. Yori Paris, hey Pedro, greetings from southern France, greeting back. Eros Anderson, greetings from Sweden, greetings right back. Bapisaka, brother, I stuck here in Uruguay. Do you know when the border is open again? I wouldn't count on it for another, I don't know. I have no idea. 2 to 4 weeks, don't expect it before that because they're going to let people outside again, I reckon, but they won't open borders yet. Yippie, 1964. Hallo Pedro, goed te zien dat je gezond bent. Alles wat je nu niet kan, komt later. Dus geduld en positief blijven, dat doe je geweldig. Groeten uit Nederland, René. Precies. That's it, René. Thanks, man. Yeah, we're just gonna run down the clock. What is it? Run down? Run off? No, run down. There's something else for it. English, do you speak it? Yeah, it's gonna run out the clock and we'll see what happens. And we'll keep going. Moto Man, you need to use beard oil. Your skin is drying up and itches. That is why you are touching your face all the time. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for the wisdom. It's like that manly wisdom hasn't been given to me yet. Now I know. Have you stocked up on cold weather gear for Patagonia? John. Oh, I keep answering your questions, John. I'm gonna start thinking it's unfair. Have you stocked up on cold weather gear? I got my thermals. You know, I got that Kathmandu thermal shirt, long sleeve that I still have from New Zealand. I got those pants that I found in Chile. Remember, by the geysers. I got my duck feathered sleeping bag, which I haven't. I hadn't opened it for over a year. So you're supposed to store that, you know, not when it's compacted. But I think it still works. I got my inner liner. The thing I like when it gets. I don't necessarily want to ride in the cold, but the good thing about colder weather is that you need all the inner liners. So the inner liner, it takes about this much space. So that's all in your jacket, that's all in your pants. And so that's less things to carry on the bike in the bags. So that's for me the upside of colder weather. Use the inner liners. Martin de Vries. In the Netherlands, the motorcycle season has started today, so many on the road today. 20 degrees and sunny. Hardly any other traffic, so I guess it was extra noticeable. You guys are still allowed to go outside, eh? You wouldn't be surprised, you know what happens once the motorcycle season starts. There's always that 1 or 2 deaths during the first days of people who forgot how to ride a motorcycle, or cars who haven't seen them for a while, and all of a sudden they're there. And it's strange, right? How always when the motorcycle season opens up, how actually accidents happen and people die. But yeah, you guys can go on the road. That's the Dutch intelligent lockdown, right? The self-imposed lockdown. That's what I said before. You know, there's some countries that get a lot of crap, but for letting people still pretty much kind of let them do their own thing. But the Netherlands is doing the same, and it's one of the most densely populated countries in the world. Oh, I scroll up a lot. Or are people copy pasting questions sometimes? John Baker, I keep going to the garage and petting Africa Twin. Don't say that. I can't pet Alp. I remember, reminds me of that monologue at the end of Interstellar, the movie, where she's telling, all right, man. Matthew McConaughey, his character, telling to go back into space because Grant is out there and she's all alone out there in the darkness. Yeah, it's pretty much how I feel about Alp now. Locked away, can't get to her. Still wondering. I'm still wondering. Am I going to have a discussion on the 13th with the garage guy who's going to be like, okay, now pay for all that time that Alp was there, and I wonder if they're still going to make you pay. It's going to be an interesting discussion because I think that's not legit. Alistair McIsaac, good morning from NZ, New Zealand. Pedro, I know that you're saying about missing them ride. I did a sneaky 1 kilometer ride. Stay inside. Otherwise, what's her name? Matilda, she's going to come find you. My on the Vespa. Take care, and like us all, can't wait to see you back on the road. Well, cheers, man. Same. John Crease, hello from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We will be locked down until April 30th. Wild. It's caught up there too, eh? I imagine that's state-wise, or what do you call it? Well, in the States you have the country, you have the states, and then you have the, what's the name? The regions within the states, right? Andrusha, what is your tech setup for blogging in terms of laptop, camera, drone, mic? Which software are you using for editing? How do people react when they see you shooting them? Well, sometimes people laugh, or you're like a little bit like this when you see you filming yourself, especially when you're filming yourself. When they get filmed, it can get a little bit startled or can get used to it. Rarely do I see negative responses. But yeah, when I haven't recorded for a long time, I feel a bit more self-conscious when I'm in a public space recording, but you ease out of that once you do it and start doing it again. But then you notice that people are like really looking at you when they're talking, or they're laughing a bit, like, what the hell is that guy doing? Especially since I got, that whole setup with my camera and the tripod. So yeah, so I got the DSLR camera with the wide lens on the GorillaPod that I record my off the motorcycle stuff. Got the Mavic Pro for the drone. I got the GoPro 7 now for action camming, and the Session 5. And the Session 5, like someone gifted that to me. Thanks, Andrew. Hope you're hanging in there in Canada. Someone gifted that to me, and man, it's been very useful because I've been enjoying getting that extra angle. And it's a really small, easy to use camera. The audio is not that great, but it's nice to have that extra angle that you can switch between to cut around with. So I've been really happy with that. The laptop, I really like this laptop. Someone, Brazilian, there's, what's going on? I can't see. My phone keeps going crazy, if you can hear it. But someone recently bought the same laptop as I did after I talked about it, and that's the Acer Nitro 5, which is i8 Gen Intel, if someone cares. But I mentioned that because processing power went up 50% or almost doubled, or at least 50% went up, and it exports the codec that I use for my videos. So it's now done on the processor, so separately. It's a great laptop for that. That codec, I'm getting into details. I don't know why I'm talking about that. HEVC. That's what the GoPro records now, and to edit that, to export that, you need a lot of processing power. But now Intel has a dedicated part of the GPU to CPU for that, so that's good. But yeah, this is Acer Nitro 5, and it's a lower end gaming laptop, but it does the job fantastic. But I put an SSD in there, and that's what makes computer fast. So that's the hardware, right? Lots of external hard drives too, and use Premiere to edit. Let's see. Ryan Steiner, bought my bike 2 days before the quarantine. It's still in the shop. It's been 17 days since. Crying emojis. I get you, man. We spruced up Alp. Wait, say it again. We spruced up Alp really nice, right? The throttle is responsive like a mofo. Great job, Adrian. And the acceleration is pretty nice for Alp, and she was feeling great. And all of a sudden, barely a day later, he's pulled away out of my life. So once we get back to Alp, we're going to have a very responsive, very clutchy, a little bit aggressive Alp, and I like it. It's going to be fun, but he's waiting. It's in such great condition for some off-road fun, folks. Borislav Kamershev. In Bulgaria, you are locked till 13th of May. Greetings from Bulgaria. Damn, boy. Hang in there. It is statewide. Thanks, John Kreese. Special one. Pedro, I want to learn Portuguese. Give me advice. Classes. Go to Portuguese-speaking country, although Brazil would be very different than Portuguese. Duolingo. Watch Portuguese shows. Sostorwa SS antwoord Martin de Vries. Ik woon in België. I'm in Belgium and I can't ride my moto already for 4 weeks and you Dutch people are still outside. Oh, mij zeg hè? Rustig hè? Rustig. Nee, dat is niet eerlijk hè zeg. You're keeping the Belgians inside, but the Dutch, they can still. But apparently they have drones flying around the police, and it's like telling people, do not get too close to each other. Yeah, it's niet eerlijk. It's like we're in Argentina. The Swedes are roaming around free, and here we're locked up for 25 days or so. Ever lost your MC? You mean the motorcycle key? I did. It was on my ferry from Japan to Australia. Was roll on, roll off. That means you don't put it in a crate. You drop it off at the harbor, and they take the bike, and you leave your keys in there. From what I understood, you had to leave your keys in there. I think that's what they wanted. And then the bike got to Australia, and the keys were gone. So you get 2 sets of keys, so I don't have 1 set of key anymore. But what I did, I made copies of the keys. So I don't use my original keys, the ones I have left. I only use copies. That's why sometimes I'm having trouble getting, the key to turn right because it's a copy. It's not completely perfect, but rather lose a copy. I recommend that to anyone who doesn't have, hyper expensive, those modern keys that have this, that speak with the bike or whatever, but still have old school bikes. Make copies. Don't use your original. Victor Diaz, hi from Canary Islands, Pedro. Lockdown here has been extended for 15 days more. Damn boy, same happened here. But in my case, I'm still working, wishing the day to be free again and go back to Morocco. Oh yeah, man, that's great. You can just, you still got to leave an island, but you can go to Morocco. That's great, man. Got that whole unofficial, is it Morocco, is it not Morocco desert, right, in the south. But yeah, man, I'm happy. I got something that I can work from home, right? And I've spoken to other people who can still work from home. I also spoke to other people who can't work from home, and that's rough. That's no good. People got to work, got to make some money. Gael, Pedro, tomorrow I'm going to see a Transalp. What should I watch for? Is it what is it? Is it a 600? If it's like mine, look at the suspension. Look at the suspension. Is it looking very worn, rusty? Well, generally you look at the parts, right? The typical parts that you know it's going to cost to replace. How's the chain looking like? If that's all worn, that's going to put you back 150 euros at least. Well, how worn are the tires? Give the clutch a feel when you go for a test ride, you know. So when you ride, what is it? Riding pretty slow, or was it from standstill? You gotta shift up, try and from a really slow speed, gear up all the way to fifth gear, and see if you can still accelerate. If the clutch can I'm lacking words in English here. Quarantine people. But yeah, that's how you test the clutch. See if it's not too worn. You should be able to still get up to speed when you're in fourth or fifth gear from a slow speed. Well, and then you got the rims, right? Check around the rims. How much do you see any external rim rot? The front and the rear. What is there? Some other things. There's the CDI. Ask him about what's the CDI situation. There's 2 CDI units. Ask him if are the CDI units still original or the aftermarket. Not that big of a deal. You can get relatively cheap CDIs aftermarket. My CDIs are both aftermarket, and you get them for 30 euros nowadays, I think, unlike the 100 euros or more back in the day. Am I missing something? But yeah, I got my Transalp at 45,000 kilometers, I think, right? 45,000 kilometers in 2010, 2011. So look where we are now, right? All right, let's have a look-see. Bruno Umberto Spagna. Hi from Italy. Remember, you are always welcome when all will finish. You can count on a safe place here in Italy. Grazie. Thank you. Vandaag 200 kilometer gereden. I rode 200 kilometers, says Jan Menning, in northeast Groningen. Oh wait, you didn't, because it's if you ride 200 kilometers in the Netherlands, that means you basically went through half the country. So you brought your own coffee. Yeah, we had a good little ride, man. Don't say that. Let's see how that goes once they let us out. If we're going to make riding around difficult, but you got to let people move around a little bit. Keep the borders closed, but we got to move around a little bit again, man. Nice that you have a nice ride today. Just don't say it to any Belgians. We're kidding here, right? Let me get some more water. Okay, Luis Pedro Camilo, thanks for the kind words in Portuguese. He's asking about my helmet. Let's get the girl. Let's get the old helmet. This helmet is what do you call this system again? I love it that it does this. Wait, there's the camera. This for me is essential. I like the style of the shield, the visor, which is, it's still kind of rounded but slightly squared off. It's super wide. I have huge angle with this. It's great. I see a lot. The peak, gets a lot of flack because it moves around and sometimes it vibrates a lot. But still, I love riding with a peak. This keeps so much sunlight out of my face without bringing the, what do you call that? The sun visor down, which when I'm doing mild to serious off-road, I don't like the sun visor. I feel that I can see less. So the peak for off-roading is fantastic. But then you get to the parts, it's the reason why it's a cheaper helmet is that it feels cheap, it creaks, it makes all these noises. Padding is all right on the inside. Make sure it fits well. Mine doesn't fit exactly. I could have gotten a little bit smaller. I could still get fatter padding one day. It feels a bit cheap, the helmet. We're not talking ultra Chinese though. But the worst part is this system here. These screws fall out, resonate out. If you use the peak, there's these plugs, these rubber plugs, but from what I understand is that you can't put them on if you got the peak, but it does work if you don't have the peak to keep the screw from falling out. The first time it happened, it took me a while to notice. All of a sudden, the whole thing's loose, but then the internals fell out. So we're talking little plastic pieces, not just the screw, right? So luckily, I still managed to replace that in northern Chile through the shop, through the dealer still. But yeah, you lose that somewhere else. No dealer around. Yeah, forget about it. You lost them. So if you get these, the helmet, unscrew, take out the screw and put Loctite on there, seriously, and then keep an eye still on it. Very noisy. I knew what I was getting in that regard. People already told me. But yeah, it's very noisy. But it comes also with the wind doesn't get in. Relatively very little wind gets in. Even when it's cold, you still don't need to protect your neck because it's pretty wide, the strap. And it keeps the cold off your neck pretty easy, actually. And then there's still a little piece that comes in here that protects the wind from going in, which I don't use. And it came with an inflatable pillow to support. You can wear around your neck. I'd never seen that, but I never used it. So that was a nice touch. So great, I guess, in functionality. Safety, medium. Durability, medium tops. You get what it's still a you get what you pay for helmet. All right, and that concludes our segment of gear info. Oh. Lauren Weber, have you been in touch with immediate family? Well, yeah, in Portugal, they're on lockdown too since a bit. Of course, you tell your mother to stay inside, and all that. And then the Netherlands, friends still kind of get to walk around and sort of visit each other, but they had to wisen up a little bit more the last week and a half. Yeah, because like I said, Holland is quite liberal, as is Holland, right? Got to do everything the Dutch way. So, yeah, doing all right so far, and hopefully it stays that way. MRX Kriaks, Dutch highways are depressing. Yeah, they're so good. They're like pure, most of them are just pure quality, but it's just highway through the flatlands pretty much. Well, some highways are nicer than others, but it's all about the back roads. And even then, it's tough in the Netherlands, man. You're good if you're living in like Groningen, Friesland, Drenthe, Overijssel, Limburg, Brabant, some parts, Northern Brabant, to ride by the river, Zeeland. That's fun to ride too. And then from Zeeland, it's a bit of a fun route when you go up to Rotterdam. But yeah, riding in the Netherlands, it's rough. Then you got to go to Germany. Because if you go to Belgium, you need to bring the adventure bike. It's you definitely need 21-inch front wheel, 17-inch rear to ride for Belgium. Amai, grapje zeg, hey. And so you go to Germany, and you go to the Eiffel and Schwarzwald, Monschau. Yeah, that would be rough if I go back to the Netherlands, riding. But still, if you're not used to in traffic, go ride in Amsterdam. If you have never ridden in the big city, that will blow you away the first time. The things you have to pay attention to as a rider, even as a driver, I imagine. Jan Mennik, het ga je goed man. Ik moet je even uitvinden hoe je kan doneren, sponsoren. Oh, thanks man. Check maar de links in de descriptie, de beschrijving. Daar kun je wel een link of 2 vinden. Dankjewel. Weekander motos. Actually, if the helmet moves like that, doesn't mean it's cheap. I used to have RI, Schubert with the screws all loose. Oh, really? And for me, Nolan's are the noisiest. Well, there you go. I think we talked about that, didn't we? The roads in Germany are full of bikers because it's one of the few activities that you can still do without any problems. Oh, damn. Watch out in Germany on the left lane for all the Busa bros. What would bro be in German? The Busa. What's bro in German? Busa Bruder? Could that work? Ah, there you go. Yeah, well, Bruder wouldn't be the one. Let's see. Busa Alter Bruder. Yeah, watch out for those. And the R1s in the left lane. German highways, you can go as fast as you want. John Spice, are the screws still falling out? Yeah, the left one. I gotta do it. What do you call it? Loctite it again. Because maybe it's only one part that sticks in the screw and not the tip, so I gotta put the Loctite along the whole screw this time. Yeah, they're a handful, man. The looser the peak becomes on one side, and I see it like vibrate more on one side, then I start then I know that the screw is coming loose. And we've been doing this for an hour and a half or more. Still gotta finish a video today, but we're having fun here. Let me close up Photoshop. It's a lot of noise here from the laptop. The fan. Okay, there we go. I'm actually still a bit hungry, more than a bit. I got grapes. Got some grapes. I got some grapes. I've only had breakfast today, and I still got to go to the supermarket. I got to go outside. It's funny how first time I went to the supermarket, people still walking around normally. And from the second time on, I've been to the supermarket like 3 times now, and the second and third time you see more and more face masks on the street here. Let's see. Avon Lopez, Pedro, you have a cash app, like a support dono app, just anything like that, or you can do in the chat, or links in the description. Check it out. Dankeschön. Thank you. Yeah, helmet screws. My Shoei Hornet screws escaped too. Okay, well, look at that. All these quality helmets, right, have a similar problem. Okay, that alleviates my harsh judgment of the LS2 helmet. Yeah, that rubber cap should if they can make it work with the peak too, that would be great. Then it just can't fall out anymore. If not, Loctite. Paulo Nogueira, Pedro, I have the new full face LS2. Is that the one like this one? You don't have those big flecks and the structure is way better. Oh, interesting. Was it still? What was the price, if you don't mind? Is it still a affordable helmet? Jesus Christ, Henry Calta. Yeah, today was insane on German roads. Went for some twisties on my supermoto. And Germany is still big, because you can ride around Germany. Meanwhile, the Belgians are pulling their hair out. Also. At least France is in lockdown, right? Belgium. Are you going to get new boots? Oh, John, it's you again. It's you again. Right, so, oh yeah, the boots, right? What I did that day, I was still in Brazil. I went and got myself some instant glue. What do you call that? That quick glue. If you squeeze your fingers together, you're screwed. But an even better one, because I used that one before. And this time, I used it copiously. A lot of it. It was a flask this big. I used half of it on each. On the edges too, and I put it on so hard that once I was done, it dried out more. I just knew, yeah, that's going to stick for a while. That was proper glue, and I used so much, and I wasn't even dry when I went out. I got rocks and sand sticking to the boot, but that's all good. But yeah, look, man, the thing that's going to happen next is going to be these fold points, these what do you call that? Anyway, where the thread is going to start letting go, because that's still old. Yeah, $99 for, I think, genuine Alpine Star boots, but I don't know how many years this was in stock then for it to degrade so fast. But the heel, yeah, that's gonna. I did a better job than the shoe fixer. What do you call that? Schumacher. Because they just use that basic brown gooey glue. We'll see, man. I don't know how long that's gonna last, man. Once the seams start loosening up, and it did already a little bit on the other one. John Baker, I have LS2 Pioneer and it's a bit flexy and squeaky, but it's ECE and DOT approved. Well, that's what most of these are. Just you're reminding me of the most ghetto helmets that I've worn. And when I on my first trip, I brought two helmets, and one got stolen in Croatia. No, not Croatia. Yeah, what's the other country? Prague. Czech Republic, and on my way up, my proper helmet that got stolen in Macedonia. Beautiful country, by the way, but we were barbecuing riverside for hours, and they cut the strap off the motorbike, and then I didn't have a helmet. So for €10, and in Macedonia, nobody wears a helmet. And if they wear a helmet, it's only for the cops. So I bought this helmet. The only ones that they're selling are these ultra Chinese. You know, I bought a helmet when I was in China, right? And that helmet was better than the one I bought in Macedonia back then. And I also didn't have a lot of money anymore, right? And we're trying to get back to the Netherlands. So I just bought this ultra Chinese helmet with no form on the inside, right? So when you put it on, you can just... you can just move it. You can just move it around, and once you would start hitting 80, 85, it would press up against your nose. And then I actually crashed with a helmet too in Albania. Yeah, and I'm happy I didn't hit my head on the ground. Is that how it happened? Albania? Yeah, Albania came after Macedonia, I think. Yeah. So that helmet was so basic, and then I rode all the way like that back to the Netherlands. Hey, what's happening here? Jan Emme, heb het gewonnen op PayPal. Dankjewel. Hey, by the way, all the people who've been supporting, not just today through PayPal, but the last couple of weeks and during the last live stream, appreciate it very much, man. Thanks for the support. People have asked, financial situation, how it's been going. It's putting a little dent, little. It's putting a dent in the finances, but we're still getting along. But with that support, we'll weather this through this no issue. And thanks a lot for that, man. Really appreciate it. What was the question I was answering here earlier? Oh yeah, right. Jan Menink found it on PayPal. Cheers, man. Are you cooking or ordering food? Yeah, I've been cooking. Cooking. Oh man. Yeah. So I got my rice, I got my pasta, I got my burgers. I'm almost out of burgers. What have I been doing? Eggs, tuna, cans of tuna. So you get the rice, chop up an onion, chop up some garlic. Once the rice is done, throw that in there. Then throw the tuna in there. Some mayonnaise through there. Maybe some egg. The other day I got vegetables. Mix some vegetables in there. Yeah, we're getting through it. Colin Melvin, Pedro, my wife and I absolutely love your videos. Thanks, man. Thank you and the missus. They've been a nice escape from all the craziness in the world. Do you intend to stay in Argentina for a few weeks? Mate, for the time being, I'm staying in Argentina forever, indefinitely. Gotta check that visa though, because I haven't been stamped in Argentina because they have a union with Uruguay. So that adds another week already. I got a 3-month visa. Should be interesting at some point. I think I'm a month and a half into my visa. Thanks for watching. That goes to everyone here, of course. Throttle addiction. Good morning from Western Australia. Good morning, mate. It's about time, eh? It's always like, it was tougher. I try to include the Aussies, but it's hard time-wise because it's still like 5 a.m. when I start streaming, and recently the time changed in the Netherlands, so it's even harder. I have to start streaming earlier to get the all the Europeans along, and but the Aussies are still in the early hours of the morning, the late early hours. Adrian, what's your diet when on the road? Well, it depends. If I'm in an expensive country like Australia, New Zealand, I would just travel with wraps and have a block of cheese, have a red onion, some spices, some salt, some pepper, and some ham. What surprises me how long you can keep ham, even in the heat. The ham is good for 4 or 5 days, and in New Zealand it was even easy. In New Zealand it was easier because I was traveling in the cold, right? And you chop that up, put it in a wrap, and then you eat it. Tuna. Oh yeah, when I'm in South America, the food is a lot more affordable. You have an empanada, one of their pastries. You have a plate of rice with beans and meat. That sort of thing. And I enjoy that a lot more because those are actually meals. If you're ever in the videos and you see me eating a lot more bread or wraps, that means I'm in an expensive country, or at least for my budget. Andrusha, I went to supermarket and was wearing my helmet for whole time in the store. Don't do that once you go to Brazil, though. You'll get shot by an off-duty cop. Peter Dam Mines. Denmark is still fairly open. Lots of motorcycles on the roads here as well. Don't tell that to the Belgians. There was a question and now I scrolled it away. Foreigner? Paul asks, have you encountered anti-foreigner reactions where you are? Itchy Boots went through some days of concern, but the owner of her guest house was great, as was guy who drove her to Lima. Yeah, that's what I've been getting a lot more messages of people because of that, and people were worried, but there was no need to be worried. In the beginning, when people didn't know me, one of their first questions out here would be, "Oh, so how long have you been here? When did you get here?" That became like a go-to question to people. It seems to foreigners, for foreigners, as in, when did you get to Argentina? Are you sick? Are you bringing it here? But that was the first question the police asked twice, and at the store once too. But I just chat with the people, just have a little chat. And then just go like, oh no, I've been around for a while now, and I've been here a month now, Argentina, and it's all good. And then people are cool about it, but they are maybe a little bit more on edge or question the situation a bit more than usual. It's not something they would normally ask, definitely. Quibus, that's the boots from the crazy shopping journey across the border. Yep, from Paraguay. They fit like a dream, but they fall apart. Let me see. Shoemaker is cobbler. Thanks, MRC in the UK. All right, cobbler? Cobbler, that's it. Cobbler. Oh, that's a cobbler. That's a cobbler. Let's see. Alvim Rui. Hey Pedro, I should know better, but tell me please, do you have high mechanical knowledge? I know what happens on my bike, what sits on my bike, older bike, modern bikes, no. Engine, no. I got the basics down, and advanced basics, and some medium stuff, and then I can think about the parts, but going into an engine, that's all more next level. But that's all practice again, right? Experience. But yeah, no way am I an engineer, like a motor mechanic or anything like that. Let me see. Feblu, opening of tins of tuna is not cooking. Yes, it is. If it ends up in a pan that's on a stove, absolutely it's cooking. Gordon Ramsay would not swear too much, I think, if you eat my rice tuna special. John Baker, I just joined Patreon. Well, thanks, John. Thanks a lot today. You're being an absolute champ, man. Riding on eggshells. Oh, dude, what's up, man? Morning from Australia. Hope you're doing well. Here in Oz, they expect the borders to be closed all year and only necessary travel. Does the news give any idea for the outlook for Argentina? Yeah, I've been following the news, but Adrian keeps me updated sometimes. The Argentinian guy who helped me out with ALP, he's in the chat here too now. Got nothing else to do, mate? Anyway, so yeah, we'll see what happens on the 13th, man, if they let us go and to what extent. Here in Oz, they expect the borders to be closed all year. Damn, all year. But yeah, that's Australia and invasive species for you. But I hope you still get to travel interstate. At least your states are massive, so there's that. unless you're in Canberra. But other than that, it's pretty huge. Yeah, you guys. One of your last videos that popped up was, I think, was the one you're selling the Himalayan. I'm not sure, but don't sell the Himalayan. Everybody search for Himalayan, man. It's like the Himalayan is what the Africa Twin wants. What the Africa Twin in 2016 was on YouTube. Very, very, very high search. Keep the Himalayan. Gob's Day Dove. Who has the best chicken on a stick? So far, Brazil. But I've had some amazing barbecue chicken on a stick though somewhere. I don't remember where that was anymore. Maybe Chile. But for now, when it's real chicken, not some factory goo on a stick, right? But some actual chicken, that's the best. And the best empanada chicken was in Chile, Antofagasta. You got like an empanada, so that's the bread thing, that bread half moon, right? Doughy. And they had a full chicken breast in there, juicy chicken breast with some spice. So good, ají. Oh, that's the thing, right? When I cook up my rice, when I got some vegetables, these green peppers, right? Ají, they're not that spicy. But they have so much flavor. Chop that up, add it to the rice. Muy bueno. Jan Mennik, een account aanmaken. Als ik PayPal aanklik. Oh, kun je niet... I don't know. Send me a message on Facebook if you have a Facebook account. Jan. Manuel Festoli, you need an Argentine girl to feed you. That wouldn't be a bad idea. And I said, like, when I got here, the Airbnb was like you can't. It's because it's a separate room. It's not at their home, but still they were like, yeah, remember by law you can't have anybody over and the neighbors can rat you out. They can call the police if they want and whatnot. So it's like, okay. So I haven't, there's no Argentinian girl to feed me. Keith Garas, greetings from Sierra Vista, Arizona. Nice dirt road today, ride today. Stay safe and enjoy life. Enjoy it while it lasts, man. What missing biker was someone asking? Did they find? There we go. Efrain Guzman, did they find the missing biker? No. If you go to the video, there's actually a link to the Facebook page and the news. And I checked like 3 weeks ago or something, but it was pretty much a dead end. And there seems to be, I don't know, maybe. I don't want to speculate and then go speculate, but I'll just say this, and it seems like maybe there's a split in the family that one side believes that maybe, one sister maybe believes that he might not be alive anymore, very possible, and another still might believe that he just went completely off the grid for some reason whatsoever. Which initially was my theory, but the trail went really, really, really cold. But I could understand the part of completely wanting to disappear. So, but yeah, I know too little to say much. This was in my interpretation of what I saw based on posts, the sparse posts of the last 2-3 months. Renato, Francisco, aren't you fed up eating tuna? It's not all I eat. I had it twice this week. No, it's not that easy to get fed up, especially when it already comes with olive oil. What is there not to like? There's also the thing, I haven't seen a butcher around here. Not that I've really looked, but this little supermarket doesn't have any proper meat. And just to stay on the safe side or on a good citizen side, I haven't ventured off to a faraway supermarket. There might be one a kilometer and a half from here. But I need to find myself a butcher. Butcher, eh? Get some proper meat. Get a steak in me, eh? Let's see. Riding on eggshells. It's gone, man. It's over. You mean the trip for now? Or the Himalayan? Oh, man. You have a nice trip? I bet you have. But it's an awesome little adventure. There's like, I've seen a handful, not completely episodes, but it looks like you guys were having we're having a blast out there. Really getting down under. You guys have such a stupid big country. You got a whole island to yourself. Shrimp Tabasco, what do you think about the BMW F650 GS? Every time I hear about the 650, all I know it's like super economical. Everybody who was riding it seems to be able to do 25 kilometers per liter, or maybe more, which is really nice. Other than that, don't really have an opinion. But there's plenty of travelers that go around on it. It's definitely not a bad single cylinder bike. I knew an Australian bloke living in Japan. Older fella, big dude still. He rode halfway around the world on one of those. Pedro, could you do Wessel style? Pedro, could you do a review of your gear while you are in lockdown? We'll keep you busy. We'll see, man. Like I still got material for 2 more videos, and then there's some sort of lockdown episode or something. I'm not sure. But it's also something like the thing with I've made various types of videos, and if I make a pure gear video, what happens with it's complicated on YouTube. If you start mixing 2 types of videos together, I've learned, and now I'm on the road again, where, for example, I show mainly my travels, but I know there's people interested like in gear. But if I make a pure gear video, it might not go well, and if a video doesn't go well, it affects the whole channel, and it can take like 2 to 4 weeks to get back up to level. That's YouTube can work in a weird way. So that's one of the reasons why you don't see that much anymore. I can include it more in the future in videos during my travel. But if I make a pure gear video, it will be mostly for the hardcore motorcycle people, the gear people who will be interested. And there's a good chance that others don't watch it, and that's how you get that effect that a video doesn't do well. Let's see. Ego Lenzen. Surprising what you say about Belgium. 2 days ago, I went with my bike through the Eifel and also into Belgium without having any problems. Even the German police saw it. All right, that's good. That's so different from here. Oh, special one. Pedro, I want to connect me the family in Foz do Iguaçu. Send me a message on Facebook if you can. Special one. If you want to go there, I can send a link to their Airbnb. Whoa, it get dark. It is dark. It's actually dark outside now. Almost dark. Trans out for the win. Yep. Pedro, you know any of the other around the world riders who are the YouTube famous? No. I met some people in Brazil with YouTube channel. Was it Francisco? Was it Francisco? The last guy, Electro Boy with the channel. He he do pretty damn well there. But English guys, no. Am I saying that? Oh wait, no. I've briefly met. This was in 2017. I just gotten to South America, Chile, in Santiago, and I popped by the airport again, and there I met William Klug, who just gotten there that day, and I invited him to ride with me to Valparaiso. I was on my way there. My friends were already ahead of me on their Transalp, but that was still 100 kilometers to the coast, and he just had one of those long days behind him of flying and traveling. So he stayed in Santiago, and he had all this stuff, all this shit he still had to bring with him to the hotel. So he was absolutely knackered. So I didn't get to chill with him, but that's the only one. William, yeah. I think he still might be riding around. Oh yeah, I remember and he asked how much did you pay for your air shipment, and when I said my price, he was like, how come it's so little? How did you manage that? And it was because I basically took apart a quarter of Alp to get her to fit in a relatively small crate, and I didn't bring the panniers along, so I had a very low volume. Well, at least it was on the Africa Twin, the new Africa Twin with all the panniers. So it's all by volume, the air freight. Oh yeah, we discussed a bit of that. I know other people, but he's not on YouTube. But he ended up already in a magazine in the late '90s. Yoshi-san from Japan. Let's see. Rupinder Bawa, are you planning to sit out the lockdown or fly back to your home? There isn't really a home. This is what I do, and I'm just gonna sit here, wait it out, and hope to be able to continue. Maybe with some limitations, who knows? But we're gonna keep this ride going. John Baker, I like your style of video sometimes, maybe longer, but they're good. Cheers, man. Even longer. I know some people would like them even longer, but most people can't handle longer. I'm actually trying to make them shorter again. I gotten to a point where they're almost 20 minutes. And just a heads up, folks, I'm definitely going to try and bring them down to 10, 11, 12 minutes again in the future, with the occasional longer one. Or split up days more. Start splitting up days again more often. Gustavo Alegio, Pedro, where are you right now? I'm in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Andrusha, Yoshi-san was in one of your videos. Yeah, man. Drusha's been around the channel for a while for you to know that. You have to have been around because that video was almost a year and a half, 2 years ago. Diego Castanares, you are more ugly now. Hey man, don't hurt my feelings. BMW 310, nice. You guys having conversations in here? MRC in the UK, how rusty and unreliable do you think your bike will get after riding 200 kilometer in the beach, even though you cleaned it the next day? Well, the rusty part's getting rustier. Your connections, electronic connections, potentially. It's not like I rode around the water briefly. Definitely when I did that stint in the Salt Lake, that's like really riding in salt water, extensively and then getting the whole bike covered in salt. That ended up leaving a mark on the engine. It's all spotted. It's a bit spotted now, the engine. One bearing was completely stuck. We found out a few weeks ago, working on the bike with Adrian. He had to make a little weld to get that out. What else? Other than that, it's not too bad. If you don't go into water, it's not the end of the world to ride on the beach. But give it a good wash and watch out with the pressure cleaner. Party up. Hello, didn't know you did live things. Now you know. You've done a few of these by now. What's 2 hours and 10 already? Oh, you know what time it is, folks. Oh, mate, it's 5 o'clock. Still gotta go shopping, make dinner. And I still gotta finish the video. I'm in the music making phase. That's in the music editing phase, so that's usually pretty good. But I still have a few hours left. Otherwise, there's no video tomorrow. So we're gonna slow down here, folks. Shut up, Pedro. We are talking here. I see. Well, move along then. How about Party Rapper? Did this channel inspire you? Way to go, as I don't know. I'm not familiar with that channel. Andrusha, John Baker, you are the best donator. Absolutely. Give it up for John. Cheers, John. Jeez. Keeping the show on the road. Music editing in the videos is nightmare for me, Andrusha said. Yeah, just do it a lot. Practice. If you see some of my music edits, I work a lot with the music. I actually like that part. If you want to expand your music collection, I use Epidemic Sound, and by now I have massive playlists, right? The music you hear, I spend time, like the time I spend curating music is hours and hours, days by now. But in that process, you get more good songs, more cool songs, and you idea of what's good tracks expands, you know. But Epidemic Sound is great to manage a library, and I pay like $15 or $20 for that per month, so I can use them on YouTube. And you get the stems, and I love working with the stems. So that means you get the whole song, but the song is also separated into bits. So before, sometimes a long time ago, I would edit songs, and sometimes I wanted parts to go on for longer, and I would have to cut in the exact right place and duplicate it, and to get it maybe to work properly, as in to repeat itself. When you work with stems, the whole song is separated into drums, which I never use. Bass line, sometimes I use. This song, I just use the bass like an instrument. In my next video, for example, there's a bit, I only use the instrument part and the bass. But anyway, you get drums, bass line, which is instrument, which a lot of time is the guitar part, and another part, which might be some other part of the song. And that's really cool, so you can more easily cut into the song or use songs differently throughout the video. And I like to work a lot with the music in the videos. But just getting more experience with that, just doing it more. Diego Castanares, good to know you're in my country, man. I live in Mexico, so you'll be welcome to my adopted country for sure. Gracias. It's keeping me here. It's not going to let me go anytime soon. So we're going to stick around here. BB asks, what software do you use for editing your videos? Premiere. Good night from Switzerland, Tony Dilsner says. Oh, folks, as I was saying, yeah, like I want to keep going. My throat is all dry. I got to grab another glass of water here, but I'm enjoying this, but I gotta get back to back to making a video. My original plan was about an hour and a half, and then I got delayed already setting things up. And now we're almost 2 hours and a half. I gotta start making continue on the video. It was good fun, man. It's like besides the occasional phone call with family or a friend, it's actually the live streams have been my main way of actually talking to people. And I'm not really talking. Yeah, wait. That came out. Sorry. Oh, forgive me. That came out bad. Like not having the conversation with people, but at least I'm speaking during these times. And before before I was talking with Adrian all the time. Would you have returned home or knowing the current situation there and in the Netherlands? I don't know. No. What do you mean exactly? Go back to the Netherlands even if it's the way it is, or come out here if I knew how it was? Well, I couldn't have come out here, but if I don't feel any need to go back to the Netherlands if that is the question. Go shopping before it closes. Well, I think it will be open still a little bit. But Argentine horse meat should be cheap. This isn't Mongolia, mate. Although I don't know. Do they sell horse meat? Probably. Before you leave, Azad Tariq asked, do you have any intention to visit Pakistan? Yes, if I ever in the region, absolutely. Absolutely. Vape juice, throttle addiction asks, where do you get it? Find the vape shops. Try to find the ultras. I've spent some time finding a vape shop and then you find nothing. All you find is a post address and nobody's there. But you find out what's like the Marktplaats, what's that called? The online sales, the Craigslist of a country. Over here, it's Mercado Libre. Mercado Libre in Chile, Argentina, Brazil. There's other online marketplaces that might be out there in a country. And there, they are selling usually the liquids. Or in Uruguay, you have to do it through Instagram. So it takes a bit more time. Adrian is just messaging me. I need to go shopping. Everything closes at 8. Oh, man. I still have one can of tuna. My mind goes, no, I ran out of tuna yesterday, I realized. So yeah, that's me signing off. It's been excellent, folks. It's been real fun. For reals. Keeping me sane. In Argentina, the horse meat is mortadella with pepper. Really? I see. Good night, Wessel Style. And good night and good afternoon, or good morning for that matter, to all you fine folks out there. Keep hanging in there through this and get through this madness. And video is dropping tomorrow. I hope. If it doesn't, it's all your fault. And I'll probably do this. Who knows? Maybe we might have another live stream next weekend. We'll just another one, and hopefully they're going to let me go after that. But we'll just call this the lockdown series, right? And we'll see each other then again. What do you reckon? Sounds like a plan. Take care, peeps. Cover your faces. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your face too much. And keep your distance. You know, all that jazz, right? Don't watch the news. Don't watch the news. Just don't watch any news, all right? We're all going to make it, fam. Take it easy. And see you next time. Ciao.